Hey everybody, it's Josh. Welcome to the Landlord Harassment Channel. Well, after a long night of consulting with friends and family and stuff, I've made a couple of decisions, and I think some of you might be surprised by some of the decisions I have made. So I guess I'll get right into that. I have decided not to fight to stay in this apartment. I decided not to appeal yesterday's ruling for that reason. I'm still going to appeal the ruling for the purpose of getting the eviction off my record because the eviction is just so frivolous. I got to at least fight that. But I'm no longer going to fight to stay here until after the 30th. Couple of reasons for that. First one, I truly just don't want to be here no more. Um, Brooks harassment has worked in that regard. And number two, I want to be careful how I word this because I don't want to give too much away, but because I don't think I'm supposed to or I'm allowed to talk about this yet. But basically, a huge blessing, a huge opportunity has opened up for me with regard to finding desirable housing that didn't really exist before. And this was presented to me, and there's actually a couple of different opportunities, and they're kind of predicated on the fact that I don't really pursue action against Haverkamp. And here's part of what I mean by that. As you guys can see, I did not sleep last night. You can tell by my eyes, right? Just lost my train of thought. Where was I? Okay, I hate when this happens. This has happened to me more and more and more these days. Um, here's what I was going to say. Here's part of the reason. Um, so I did a lot of thinking and a lot of soul searching last night, and I asked myself, do I really have it in me to become the vicious person I need to be to pursue Haverkamp relentlessly for the purpose of bringing down their business, bringing down Brook Farmer, legally speaking, making a bunch of money doing so? Do I still have that guy in me that has that ruthlessness? The guy that used to actually break laws, can I still conjure up that ruthlessness to fight within the law? And the answer is yes, I can. I still have it in me. I still have it in me to become that person again. And I still have the energy to pursue that action. I still have the energy to take 30 losses if it just means one victory. And like with Haverkamp, I only have to win once. They can beat me 30 times. I only have to win once to really hurt them. Do I still have it in me to go through all that for maybe years? The answer to that question is yes, I do. I still have that in me. But here's where it gets complicated. A further question is, do I still have it in me? Do I have enough energy these days, mentally and physically, to do this ruthless pursuit of Haverkamp Properties and to pursue my own goals in life that I am pursuing? And I'm not just talking about my health goals, I'm talking about other goals I'm trying to reach. And the answer is it's questionable whether or not I can do both. I am 45 years old now. I'm not in my 20s. I don't have the energy that I used to have. I still got plenty of energy, like when I need it. But do I have the energy to pursue both these things, to put 100% of my heart and soul into reaching the goals I'm trying to reach, and put 100% of myself into essentially destroying Haverkamp and ruining Brooke Farmer's career? I firmly believe I can accomplish one or the other. And I firmly believe I have the drive, determination, and patience to do so until I get a victory. But I'm not confident that I can do both at the same time. So if I have to choose something, I'm going to choose continuing to pursue the goals in life that I'm trying to pursue. There's one thing I can take comfort in. I know that karma is real. God created it. He doesn't call it karma. You won't see the word karma in the Bible. But there's all kinds of scriptures, especially like in Psalms and Proverbs and stuff, that tell you that what goes around comes around. So I don't have to do anything to cause problems in Brooke Farmer's life, in Haverkamp's life. Because the stuff they do is going to come back on them one way or another. Brooke Farmer stalked, harassed, and did everything she could to make me miserable in here for over a year, regardless of the fact that I did nothing to really even attract her attention. Just trying to live peacefully. God saw all that. Because of that, Brooke is going to have extra problems in her life that she wouldn't have otherwise had. God's going to make sure of that. I mean, we all are going to have problems anyway. Bad things happen to good people too. You saw what happened to me yesterday in the courtroom. So having good karma doesn't necessarily mean that bad things won't happen to you. But doing things to bring bad karma to yourself does mean that you're going to bring on extra bad stuff in your life, that on top of the bad stuff that was already going to happen. And so Brooke Farmer, Vinny, some of these others that have like supported Brooke through this, they're going to get theirs. Brooke is the type of person that ends up getting stricken with some kind of incurable cancer for some unknown reason. And I guess that happens to good people. Like I said, that does happen to good people too, but it also sometimes happens to bad people through karma. Brooke is the type of person who's going to get herself in a multi-lane, 6-vehicle crash on Highway 30 one day and be paralyzed for the rest of her life. Not because she was even doing anything wrong while she was driving, but because wrong place, wrong time. And again, this kind of stuff happens to good people too, because we're still in a bad world. But karma makes sure that sometimes bad things happen to bad people too. And that's going to be the case whenever karma catches up with Brooke. Haverkamp is already kind of having karma come back on them. They're constantly getting sued by other people from what I read on iowacourts.gov. They win some of those suits, but like, it's got to be a headache to just keep going back and back and back. You know what I'm saying? So it's still like a stress for them to go through all of that. But Brooke is a vicious and sadistic human being. You just don't necessarily know it because she doesn't talk a whole lot. She doesn't run her mouth a whole lot. So she doesn't reveal like her true personality a whole lot. And some people might say, well, I'm acting kind of sadistically too, especially in my last couple of videos. And yeah, maybe. But at least in my case, it took me a year of being stalked and harassed and bullied to get me to this point. You know what I'm saying? Because I live by a certain moral code that generally prevents me from getting into that mindset. So the fact that it took a year to even get me into that mindset is a testament to me as far as I'm concerned. And I don't pat my own back, and I'm not trying to pat my own back, but I'm just telling you what it is. Brooke doesn't really have like a moral code she lives by. She's one of those people, she wanted to be one of the cool girls in high school and in college, but she never quite fit in. So this having power as a landlord gives her this false feeling of cool girl energy, and you know, she uses that to her advantage. There were a couple of other things I wanted to say here. Oh, there's something else I know about people like Brooke Farmer. She's one of those people that hates to see people she doesn't necessarily like doing well. So as I pursue my goals, as I reach my goals, she's just going to hate seeing me succeed. She's one of those kind of people. So that's the worst thing I can do to her, is to pursue and reach my goals. You know, I've always said it. I've allowed myself to get away from this mindset because of everything that's going on. But I've always said it, and I mean it. The best revenge you can get on your haters is to live a life that makes you happy. The best revenge you can get on your haters is to live a life that makes you happy. And it's the truth. Because if you get a measure of revenge through the court system or whatever else, you got revenge for a day or an hour or however long the moment lasted. But if you get revenge by living a life that makes you happy, which you know is going to drive your haters nuts, then you're getting revenge every day, because you're just getting revenge by just living your life. I know that the last thing in the world people like Brooke Farmer want to see me do is pull up to Iowa State University one day in a Porsche, in a Lamborghini. You know what I'm saying? The last thing in the world she wants to see. Now, I'm not pursuing my goals just because of her, obviously. I had these goals before. But it's a little bit of extra motivation, I guess you could say. But karma is going to make sure someone takes Brooks down one way or the other, or someone causes, or God brings extra trouble to her life that wouldn't have necessarily existed before. Brooke is too much of a piece of a shit of a human being for that not to happen. So I can wash my hands of that. There's a couple more things I wanted to say. Okay, so I am still fighting the eviction. So to be clear, just to try to get it off my record. Again, if it stays on my record, it's not the end of the world. Like I said, finding housing is hard for me anyway, with being a convicted felon and all that, especially a gang-related felony like I got. So this eviction isn't hurting me too bad, especially since it's not for non-payment. It's not for damage to property. It's not for, violent acts or whatever else. It's not for anything that would normally cause somebody to evict somebody. But still, I want to try to get it off my record if I possibly can. So I'm going to fight the eviction itself for that reason. but I'm not going to fight to actually stay here. I'm still going to leave. I have till the 30th. My goal is to be out on the 27th or 28th. What is that, 6, 7 days from now? I guess next Tuesday. Next Wednesday at the latest. So it shouldn't be that hard. I don't own a lot of stuff. I just have a studio apartment here with like 80% of what I own is clothes. You know what I mean? And like this couch was here before, so I'm just going to leave it here, I think. But when I started this diet and health journey, so I am going to fight the eviction tooth and nail, just so you guys know. That's not going away because, again, it's not going to hurt me that much having it on my record, but it's just the principle of it being on my record for something that shouldn't be there. So I am going to fight that one tooth and nail. But I am not going to fight to actually stay here. I'm still moving out. So where was I? What did I just say? I guess I'll close this with a little message to Brooke. And that's Brooke, that's this. Being a piece of garbage might earn you some short-term benefits. I'm sure you're making decent money as a community manager now. But you're never going to be truly happy. You do things to bring bad karma to your life, and bad karma is going to come. You're never going to have what I have. You're never going to have friends that are as loyal to you as mine are to me. You're never going to have any kind of like inner peace. Just isn't going to exist. I mean, you can get it to some extent, but you're never going to like what you see when you look in the mirror. And you have to live with yourself. I don't have to live with you. So I guess you having to live with yourself, in a sense, is punishment enough. So I'll leave you with that one. Karma is going to catch up to you. It ain't going to be me, but karma's going to catch up with you, and it's going to hit you hard when it hits you. You screwed with somebody's life who wasn't giving you any reason to screw with someone's life. Forget the fact that it was me. Just the fact that you would do this to anybody. God saw all of that. And even if you don't believe in the God that I believe in, even if you believe in like the Islam God or Hindu God or whatever, that God saw that too. So you've got some extra stuff coming into your life some kind of way that you're not going to want to enter into your life. You know, the reason a lot of bad things don't happen to me is because I don't mess with nobody. I don't give anybody a reason to mess with me. Bad things still happen, but not as much. But here's the last thing I wanted to talk about. The way court went yesterday. I'm still extremely stunned at what happened. The fact that if the judge was an honest judge and wanted to go by the law, she would have thrown this case out as soon as she saw that first note. As soon as she saw the note that I left for the upstairs neighbors telling them to stop pounding on my ceiling, she would have looked right at Haverkamp Properties and their lawyers and been like, "You're really dragging this guy in here for this crap? Really? Get this crap out of my courtroom." That's what that judge would have done if she was going to be an honest and fair judge. Unfortunately, she chose to go a different route. But the thing is, I knew very quickly that this was not going to be a fair trial. Brooke walked in with a little bit of a smirk on her face. She looked at me and just smiled kind of quickly when she walked in. And then I thought, uh-oh, for a second. But then I thought, no, whatever. She's just being Brooke. But when she got on that stand, once they asked her like 2, 3, maybe even 4 questions, I knew that I was done for, because she was smiling and like she could barely hold herself back from laughing as she answered those questions. I mean, she was really kind of enjoying herself up there. So I knew right off the bat, this is going to be a kangaroo court situation. She must have this in this bag. She must know that. She must know something I don't know. She must know that the judge is going to rule in Haverkamp's favor no matter what, whether it's right or wrong or fair or whatever. Because that's the kind, Brooke very rarely has that kind of confidence. Matter of fact, I've never seen her have any sense of self-confidence whatsoever. So the fact that she's up there smiling, laughing, almost gloating, like I said, 2 or 3 questions in, just from the expression on her face, I knew. I mean, I still fought because I still had to. One of the big mistakes I made is I left these at home, and these were my notes of questions that I was going to grill Brooke with. So I had to race through my mind and try to remember what I wrote down because I didn't. I couldn't remember everything I wrote down because I had accidentally left my notes at home. Didn't realize that till I got to the courthouse. So that worked against me in a big way, but it really doesn't matter. I think the judge had her mind made up. Otherwise, why even entertain a case like this? This is not a case where nobody gets evicted for something like this. So that judge was kind of in Haverkamp's pocket, basically. Whether she's friends with them behind the scenes or whether she's just kind of afraid of them because of their influence over the legislature around here, I'm not sure. But it's very obvious that the judge had her mind made up very soon. It's very obvious that Brooke knew it, and that's the way it went. So that's that. But to reiterate, to just say what I got to say again, I'm not fighting to stay here anymore. I'm going to fight the eviction to try to get the eviction off my record. And if it's not, I'll probably try to appeal to the Iowa Supreme Court because that's something just on moral principle, I should fight. But I'm no longer fighting to stay here. There's no part of me that even wants to be here anyway. Brooke has successfully harassed me out of here. So, congratulations to her. And I'm not going to pursue Haverkamp any further so long as I get this eviction ruling overturned. Like I said, a blessing has come. Now, the blessing isn't coming right away. I'm still going to have to rough it for a couple of months. But a really nice blessing in housing is now available to me. And I'd almost be stupid not to pursue that avenue instead of wasting energy on Haverkamp and negative things. So that's all I got to say right now. I don't know if I'll make another video for the whole rest of this week. I might. If I do, it'll probably be a health video. But I don't know. That's all I got for you guys today.